Hi, Nancy Forrester here, Executive Director of Canada's National EFT Training Institute. And I just have one very simple, one very singular message for you today. Stay home. Please stay home and practice your very finest social distancing. If you're not an essential frontline worker, if you're not a medical worker, then please support those people by just figuring out how to stay home. You know, if one person makes that decision and implements it, it's going to have an influence. There will be lives saved from that one person's decision. But if 1 million people make that decision, then we are literally going to change the course of history around this circumstance. We have the evidence, we have the interactive graphs that show us in ways that common folk like me can understand that making that decision to stay put and give the breathing space to the people who are out there taking care of us, that decision will result in fewer deaths from this. And our essential workers and our frontline medical people, they're putting their lives at higher risk and their families' lives at higher risk for us. And it's all they're asking us to do is to just stay home. And so is there any really good reason why we can't follow that simple request? Today in Toronto, the Toronto newspaper, I read the quote from our Toronto Medical Officer of Health. And she says, I'm asking for everyone to take the recommendation seriously and make every possible effort to practice social distancing. I cannot emphasize how important this is, particularly at this critical time. So the call to action here is to just assume that we're infected and assume that we're infectious and govern ourselves accordingly, to really act as if the safety of our entire global community is up to us, because it is. And so individually, please take that action. Individually, please also use whatever influence you have in your circles of community to persuade others to make this same decision. And in particular to the emotional freedom techniques tapping community. I love that so many of us are out there and we're offering tapping virtual gatherings to help people to calm their anxiety and to come into a place of confidence and calm and wise decision making around this. However, I encourage you, please, today to put your tapping expertise in the line of helping people make this decision to stay home. So maybe your virtual tapping webinar becomes about, well, what is the resistance to staying home? Wow, what's going on for people that despite all the evidence that we can make such a difference here by staying home, why are people continuing to go out? So what's that about? To bring people together in your virtual circles and explore that, to tap on that resistance. Maybe everybody in the virtual circle is already staying home, but maybe they could do some surrogate tapping for people who are experiencing the resistance and not finding their way to follow the simple mandate. So it just is time for us to use our resources and our skills to mitigate this curve, to crush this curve as promptly and as effectively as we can. There will be other requirements of us as time goes on. You know, there'll be requirements, again, to help people calm their anxieties. There will be requirements to help people figure out how to manage all the impacts that this is having on our life. But that's all to come. Today, it's about staying home and using our influence to help as many people as we possibly can to stay home. So that's my very simple and profound message, and I thank you for listening and paying attention, and in particular for helping me keep the people I care about safe and the whole world safe by taking the action we need to.